Well, hello and welcome everybody to the New Health Conversation for the censors. Again, as we always say, we absolutely stay within the community guidelines because the only thing that we actually share with the audiences is backed by peer-reviewed human trial medical studies that are in the public domain. Everybody can see them. They're accessible. But we only rely on medical proof. We don't give opinions. We don't make claims. And we've written 4 best-selling books with some of the top medical doctors in the world, over 20 shows on public broadcasting, and 1,500 live lectures around the world. So we don't copy anybody else's stuff. We're original researchers. Everything we provide is backed by medical proof. So I just want to get that out so we're on the same page, okay? Hello, John. Hello, Rosemary. Hello, Jasmine. Hello, Tina K, Shorty, Nightwalker. So she did not have to restrict her calories and safely loses 60 pounds in 3 months, actually. 3 months. I know that seems hard to believe. I've got another picture over here. I'll show it to you. Again, 60 pounds in 3 months. 60 pounds in 3 months. Now, all of you, as we start, notice right above her head there in blue, the New Health Conversation. That's our movement, but more importantly, that's the website where you can go to and see the actual medical proof. This is backed, as it says, by 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies. And you're going to find out how. We're going to explain it to you exactly what happened. It was not invented by us. It was invented by what are considered the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world. After 40 years of research, 100 studies, thousands of people, they finally figured out why 80% of Americans are overweight, 50% are obese, and 50% are pre-diabetic, despite all these diets out there. This is not a diet. This does not involve products. You heard me. It does not involve calorie counting. As a matter of fact, I'd like invite anybody that knows, give me the definition of a calorie. I've had 5 people get the definition right in the last year. I didn't know what a calorie was 23 years ago, so don't feel bad. But you're all counting calories, and I question, why are you counting calories when you don't even know what they are? Because the human body doesn't know what calories are, either doesn't care about calories. So if you're counting calories, it's just a useless endeavor. So what the researchers figured out, and we're going to explain to you how she did this, okay? But I'll go back and show you more, a shorter range. This is 21 pounds in a month, 38.75 inches, okay? Now what they did, the researchers, they figured out the body runs on only one principle, and that is a minimum amount of nutrition, not calories. Now why is that important? Because what the brain does, it calculates if there's enough fuel to run all the organs, the brain, the kidney, the liver, the heart, etc., everything's cool. When you go on a diet, think about what you do. You're reducing the amount of food, so it makes common sense. By definition, you're lowering the amount of nutrition. When that happens, the brain senses there's not enough nutrition. It immediately stops accessing the fuel inside your fat cell and turns to your muscles for fuel. And as it begins to use your muscles up, the brain has no choice. It slows down your metabolism. That's why you slow down weight loss. That's why you plateau. That's why you come off these diets and you gain everything back, because you have slowed down your metabolism. And also what you do by losing lean muscle, you impact your own immune system. So the researchers said, okay, what can we do different? They said, we have to find new foods with high levels of nutrition and low levels of quantity of food. Does that make sense? So they were going to lower the amount of food they could give to people and increase the nutrition by finding different foods. So they put together a food list, is what you would get. What I don't understand is we have all kinds of people that are signing up for free consultations, okay? And we offer you free coaching. It's right here. You can see it right here. Do you see that, the New Health Conversation? And then our coaches reach out to them, and then the people never get back to them. It's like crazy. Why would you sign up for a free consultation if you don't want a free consultation? I don't understand it. It's for your benefit and it's totally free. And that coach has done it. They're trained. They're going to answer all your questions and they're going to coach you the whole way through. I'm just telling you, you see right above her name, free coaching. That's what that means. It's free coaching. It's not a joke. It's not like you're going to sign up for something. You're not signing up for anything. And the coaches are going to show you the foods to order, give you a grocery list, and then show you how to order these other foods I'm going to talk about in just a moment, and they coach you for free. So what they did, they put together a food list, okay? Let's go back to Kristen for a moment. They put together a food list of proteins, fats, carbs, vegetables, and fruits that she took, but it only represented, of all the food she would have bought the month before, only 30% of the money she spent was for 30% of the food she was going to consume in this month, okay? The other 70% of the food, and here's what's critical, The other 70% of the food did not come from these suppliers. It didn't come from us. It came from other researchers who for 20 years had gone around the world to places like Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand to find foods with huge amounts of nutrition, but small amounts of food by volume. So now they had the foods, no products. This is food, everybody, okay? So then what they did, they created 2 new ways for her to consume food. 5 days a week, you and her, you'd be eating 4 times a day. Yes, these exotic foods around the world, that would be your breakfast. Lunch, your second meal from the grocery store, only from the grocery store. Meal number 3 is dinner, again from the grocery store. And number 4 are these foods, again, the exotic foods from around the world, okay? Then they invented these new ways of doing this, right? Which was 5 days a week, 4 times a day. That's called protein pacing. 2 days a week, they did something that was really strange, something called intermittent nutritional fasting, not water fasting, not time restricted eating. On those days, no food from the grocery store, only these foods from around the world, but this time she ate 8 times a day. You heard me. She was eating about every hour and a half. You see, this is the point. This isn't some diet. This isn't a bunch of recipes we're going to give you. It's a totally new way of consuming high quality, high dense nutrition. Don't try to figure it out on your own. That's why we give you free coaching. Those coaches, they're volunteering to coach you for free. We don't sell anything. There's nothing for us to sell. We don't have any products. I mean, are you interested in what she did? Wouldn't you want to know what she did and talk to actually a human being, not a robot, about someone who's physically done it, is going to explain to you and coach you and support you as you go through this? I'd love for anybody to put in the chat, if you were going to lose 20 pounds, how long would you give yourself to lose it? I'd love for anybody to know. And also, does anybody know the definition of a calorie? What is the food? What do you do? I'm going to explain all that in a moment. Too confusing. It's too confusing, Jenny? Why would it be too confusing? You get a coach for free. Well, okay then, Jenny, go on a diet, lose 1 pound a week, and you're going to gain it all back. That's what's going to happen to you. All the research says that. You actually get, Jenny, an actual daily schedule of the videos of what to do. Do you understand, Jenny? Diets are done, they're finished, they're over, they don't work long term. Do you understand that? That's not my opinion. That's New England Journal of Medicine. That's Medicare now. That's all these big studies saying counting calories is dead, including Harvard Medical School. That's why you have a coach for free. They're going to show you exactly what to do. It's not confusing at all. What's confusing is, why are we looking now within 4 years to saying 86% of you are going to be overweight or obese in 4 years? Does that sound like diets are working to any of you? So again, let me go over it again and try and make it simple. The researchers picked out your foods: proteins, fats, carbs, vegetables, and fruits, and gave you not calorie counts, but serving sizes, like how many ounces of protein, how much, third or half a cup of this and that. It's all laid out. There's no guesswork. It's not complicated at all if you follow it. And you're going to get coached for free or not. Or do, like I said, all of you, go on a diet. How long would it take you to lose 20 pounds on a diet, everybody? Yeah, even if it's a little bit, it's not even so much that it's complicated, it's just different, okay? Now, the other thing that I think is important here is what the researchers did. They simply figured that out. Could we give you less food and create higher levels of nutrition by us picking out the foods? Not us, but the researchers, right? So you got your food list of 30% of what you're going to buy from the grocery store. The other 70% comes from these exotic foods from around the world, from Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand, that you can't buy in your local grocery store. And you buy those directly from the researchers, and our coaches show you how to do that. Even if it's complicated, we're making it pretty easy. Now, if we just sent you a bunch of stuff and you tried to do it on your own, yeah, that probably would be overwhelming and really confusing. But what it comes down to is, look at that, 5 pounds a week. None of you have ever done anything like that before. And she lost no water weight and gained 6 to 9% lean muscle, and no one is allowed to exercise. So 5 days a week, she had 4 meals a day. She started with these exotic foods around the world. That was breakfast. That's pretty simple. Lunch from the grocery store list, dinner from the grocery store list, and a 4th meal at the end of the day, these foods from around the world. That's called protein pacing. And 2 days a week, she did something called intermittent nutritional fasting, not time restricted eating, not water fasting. Okay, on those days, no food from the grocery store, only these exotic foods from around the world, but this time they let her eat 8 times a day. So she was eating about every hour and a half. That's what should excite you. And the key to this, here's the other key to it. I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. This picture is 8 or 9 years old. All the people I'm showing you the pictures of, they've all kept the weight off for 8 or 9 years. Why would you go back to the archaic counting calories, which, I mean, look, Harvard Medical School, stop counting calories. This is Harvard Medical School, not me saying this. The idea of a calorie in, calorie out when it comes to weight loss is not only antiquated, it's just wrong, says Fatima Stanford obesity specialist, Harvard Medical School. Drop the calories notion, Stanford said. It's time to take a different approach by emphasizing what's in our food, not how much food we're consuming. The researchers, that's what they did. But they don't have anything to do with Harvard. Now, if that's not enough for you, let's take a look at this other big study titled Why You Shouldn't Count Calories. And again, I don't see anybody giving me the, Jenny, I don't understand, why is it too hard? Don't you cook now? Don't you have a recipe? They're giving you a recipe. But the sad part is, Jenny, okay, what do you think you're going to do to lose weight and keep it off? Because every one of these studies now, listen to the title of the study, Jenny, Why You Shouldn't Count Calories. Truth is, calorie counting is a terrible approach for weight loss. While counting calories and restricting calories can help you lose weight in the short term, the approach has never been proven to keep it off long term. What's even worse, 2/3 of people who try to count or restrict calories gain back more weight than they lost. They go on to say, counting calories increases chronic psychological stress and cortisol production, 2 factors that are known to cause weight gain. But here's the big one. This is from Medicare, Jenny. The title, Medicare's Search for Effective Obesity Treatments, Diets Are Not the Answer. Our researchers reviewed studies of long-term outcomes of calorie-restricted diets to assess whether dieting is an effective treatment for obesity. The studies show that 2/3 of dieters regain more weight than they lost on any diet. In summary, there's little support for the notion that diets lead to lasting weight loss or health benefits. So what diet would you go on that you think is going to work long-term? The medical evidence is so overwhelming that none of these diets work long-term. They're an exercise in futility. This does work. And it's backed, Jenny, by 10 peer-reviewed studies. And it just appeared on the cover of Women's World magazine, June 9th, the largest women's magazine in the world. I coached these 2 women. The daughter is a nurse, 57 years old, lost 50 pounds in 3 months. The mom, she's 80, she lost 90 pounds in 9 months, and they both have kept it off for more than 2 years. This is a news story. This is not an advertisement. Look at the magazine, Over 50 Protein Miracle. That's what they're saying. I mean, you obviously going to do whatever you want to do, but there's no diet you're going to go on where you're going to lose weight and keep it off long term. It doesn't exist. At least the researchers have never found it. I understand that, it looks a little bit overwhelming maybe at first, but you have a free coach, for crying out loud. It's like if you went to the gym and you'd never been to a gym in your life and they offer you a free trainer, wouldn't you take it? And that's the thing. A lot of you are signing up for free consultations and the coaches reach back out to you and you don't even get back to them. Are you serious about losing weight or not, all of you? It's not my job. That's not what we're doing. We're researchers. We're supplying you the information. As a matter of fact, you all can go and see it for free right there above her head in blue. The new health conversation. Oh, by the way, she lost 60 pounds in 3 months, by the way, just to let you know. And that's the daughter of a friend of mine. We didn't Photoshop. As a matter of fact, let me show you a different view. Look at the view. Look at her face. Look at her arms. Look at her midsection. That's not Photoshop. That is real. How about 60 pounds in 3 months, any of you? You're all holding on, I know you are, to this calories in, calories out nonsense. You see all these influencers, you see celebrities and whatever, even people doing the shots, and we're not against the shots, but they're really ineffective long-term for weight loss. I mean, this whole thing is crazy. We're trying to provide you with an alternative. And we don't sell anything. We don't have any products. There's no products here. This is food. I mean, you're getting a recipe on exactly what to do hour by hour, day by day. Otherwise, go on a diet, lose weight, and gain it all back, and then say, well, maybe that crazy scientist said he was right. So anyway, who asked me that question? Let's see. How? I just answered that for you. Who was ever asking me how? So who else would like to ask me? Oh, we got 2,600 likes already, and it's only 14 minutes, so we're doing good. So this is too hard. Jenny, how's it too hard? You know, I mean, I just explained the parameters to you, and you're going to get a free coach. But listen, I wish you well. Whatever you decide to do, I hope it works, but it's not going to, because all the medical evidence proves that it doesn't. Look, we got kids as young as 2 doing this. We got a lady 91 years old. We have people with no thyroids. We have a man with a heart transplant. We have people with no gallbladders. We have people with kidney transplants, and we're not treating, curing, diagnosing, or making any medical proclamations whatsoever. But 60 pounds in 3 months, you think any diet's ever produced anything like that? And she lost no water weight and gained 6 to 9% lean muscle with no exercise. No one in these pictures, no, they're not against exercise, but they had to eliminate it. Otherwise, you'd think that exercise was part of it, that it's diet and exercise. I mean, and then look at this older gentleman, everybody. He lost 40 pounds and 52 inches in 30 days. But look at his blood work, lab work. You can see it there's A1C, went from 8.4 to 6.4. And triglycerides, 242 to 124 in 30 days. Have any of you ever seen anything like that? That's 10 pounds a week. He lost 10 pounds a week. What do you think about that, everybody? I'd love for anyone to put a comment. You think it's fake? You think we made it, we did it to make it difficult? That's an older gentleman. If he can do it, anybody can do it. And if I can do it, anybody can do it. I did it 23 years ago. I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks. I've kept it off for 23 years. Listen, everybody, you have a chance to change the rest of your life. But it's not up to us. As a matter of fact, if you go to the website, any of you, to see the medical proof, we won't contact you. But right above, see, it says free coaching. You get to decide, once you look at the New Health Conversation, you can get a free coach. All we ask, we're so busy. If you decide you want a consultation and the coaches reach out to you, they'll call you, they'll text you. But after you invite them in, there's no way for them to get a hold of you if you go to the website. We set it up that way on purpose. We're way too busy. All we ask is a courtesy to the coaches that are volunteering their time for free, that if they at least have a conversation with them. Otherwise, it doesn't make any sense to go there, because you can't do the protocol without the mechanics of what to order, but how to do it. It's not just the ingredients. So if we gave you the ingredients, you wouldn't know what to do, because it's not a diet. It doesn't work like that. Imagine that 5 days a week, you're going to have 4 meals a day at specific times laid out. And then 2 days a week, you're going to eat 8 times a day. It's not just some cookie cutter deal. This is major medical breakthrough with 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies backed up. They're on the website. You get to see them. I mean, you look at, it's just crazy. Look at Julie, everybody. 35 pounds in 37 days. 35 pounds. We had someone on yesterday. She was on day 23 on this protocol. She's already down. She lost 22 pounds in 23 days. So the numbers are consistent. Does that make sense? So who else would like to ask me a question? Yes, I'm answering questions. Michael, don't say stupid things like that, okay, Michael? In the medical studies, it was one of the, see, you're saying something with not any evidence at all. We have 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies. The people were not allowed to exercise. They wore Fitbits to prove they weren't. So please don't tell me something you know nothing about. When you're talking about peer-reviewed human trial studies, with all due respect, that's irrefutable evidence. What, you think I'm lying? I'm full of it? That's so disgusting that you would say that. You have no proof of that. You haven't read the studies. You're certainly not one of the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world. These people work with Navy SEALs and Green Berets and Olympians and NFL football players, etc., the top weighted people in the world. Just because you have never seen anything like this, and because you've never seen it, doesn't mean it's not possible. Look at that. You're trying to tell me any diet you put someone on, there's 35 pounds in 37 days and then a transformation in their body like that. Don't give me that nonsense. It's nonsense. He's full of it. That is so ridiculous, because none of what I'm sharing is my research. It's the research. They're rated the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world for over 40 years. They're the ones that did the studies. It's in the studies. You can see it. They gained 6 to 9% lean muscle with no exercise. Yes, with no exercise. Did you all hear that? Yeah, Michael, I'm answering a question. What question did you made a statement. You didn't ask me a question. You made a statement. He's full of it without exercise. Yeah, without exercise. Hell, you can go, if you want, you can go look at the medical studies yourself. Right here. Here's the website to go to, the New Health Conversation. I'll show it to you. I'll show all of you what's there. There's nothing to buy. There's an interview, number one, with the number one nutrition weight loss physiologist in the world, and number three, the actual study showing you that they didn't exercise and they gained 6 to 9% lean muscle mass. You can't make a peer-reviewed human trial study is irrefutable medical evidence. It's in the public domain. You can't edit it. You can't change it. They validate everything you're claiming. That's why no drug ever gets approved without a peer-reviewed human trial study. And there's no diet out there with 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies. They don't exist. Or weight loss, or calories in, calories out, or all the nonsense. So Michael, again, is he answering questions? You didn't ask a question. So M. Shell, the context is this, that this is a completely new breakthrough after 40 years of research on a completely new way to lose weight that has nothing to do with counting calories, and they were not allowed to exercise because they didn't want exercise to be an outlier. That's really that simple. So what they did, the researchers who created this, they'd done 100 studies, thousands of people over 40 years. And they figured out finally, here's why diets can't possibly work. Number one, no one's still been able to give me the definition of a calorie. Why you're counting calories, I don't know, because the human body has no idea what a calorie is. The way it works is this. Our body, we have a minimum amount of nutrition that we need, period, per day, to run the brain, the kidney, the liver, the heart, all those things. When you go on a diet, here's what the researchers figured out. You're lowering the amount of food you're consuming, nothing to do with calories. You're lowering the amount of nutrition that you get. The brain figures out you're starving to death. It prevents you from accessing the fuel in your fat cell and turns to your muscles for fuel. It's proven. It's not up for debate. That's what's going on. In all these diets, 25 to 40% of what people lose in the long run is their lean muscle mass. So you might, but that causes you to slow your metabolism down. That's why people gain all their weight back. But worse, when you lose lean muscle, you slow down your own immune system. Okay? That's a given. So the researchers said, they said, we're going to put together new food groups, 30% of which would come from the United States, and they gave her a list, and you'd get a list of proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. But they were based not on calorie counting, but on serving size, because they wanted to make sure they had enough nutrition to not trigger the starvation mode, right? The other 70% of the food came from these other researchers from around the world, from Russia, from Mongolia, from Tibet and the Himalayas, South America, New Zealand, that represented huge amounts of nutrition, but very small quantities of food. Because the body doesn't care about how much food you eat. It cares about how much nutrition you're giving your body to run everything. See, when you go on these diets, you actually create something called catabolic metabolism. What the heck is that? It's the body eating our organs, starting with our muscles. That's what late-stage anorexia is. The body literally, it's starting to eat its organs once it goes through all the fat and through all the muscle mass. Well, they did that. And then what they did, using these new food combinations for all of you, they put together completely two new ways of consuming food. 5 days a week, she had 4 meals a day. She started with these exotic foods from around the world. That was breakfast. Lunch from the grocery store list, dinner from the grocery store list, and a fourth meal after dinner, these exotic foods from around the world, okay? 5 days a week, 4 meals a day. That's called protein pacing. It's actually patented by the researchers, okay? And they don't sell anything. They don't have any products. We don't have any products. Now, 2 days a week, she did something, this will spin all of you, called intermittent nutritional fasting. Not fasting, not water fasting, not time-restricted eating. On those days, no food from the grocery store, only these foods around the world. But this time, she got to eat 8 times a day. She was literally eating about every hour and a half. No one was hungry. Look at the results. That's not photoshopped. That's with no exercise allowed. She lost 21 pounds, 38.75 inches in a month. I mean, this thing is so unbelievable. When you give it to athletes, I'll show you a picture a little bit later. It's just unbelievable what happens to athletes. But the key here, she's been able to keep it off for 8 years. The protocol, not by me, we didn't invent it. It's called R2M, race to maintenance. The whole key to doing this, one of the keys, is that you can keep the weight off for the rest of your life. Because all these other diets, according to all the research studies, including Medicare, they said when we analyze long-term studies of calorie-restricted diets to assess whether these diets are effective treatments for obesity, the studies showed 2/3 of dieters regained more weight than they lost on any diet. In summary, there's little support for the notion that diets lead to lasting weight loss or health benefits. This is from Medicare. So you're on a diet, 2/3 of you're going to weigh more than when you started. That sounds pretty good. What are we doing? This is complete insanity. So let's see what else. So M. Shell, does that make sense now? Can't what, Michael? Well, I can't do what? I can't, you didn't even ask me a question. Good, M. Shell. So M. Shell also, you can go to this website. Do you see it above her head there in blue? The New Health Conversation. Give me a yes if you see it. Some people have had trouble reading it. If you go there, M. Shell, we will not contact you. But notice right above, free coaching to ensure your success. If you like what you see, you scroll down and then sign up. You don't have to sign up for anything, but you can get a coach for free. The only thing we ask, if you decide you want to do a consult with one of the coaches and they call you, at least get back to them. We have a bunch of people that are filling out the forms, and we're so busy, it's like, don't overcall because we're trying to help as many people as we can. And coaches are critical. This is not about you doing it by yourself. They're there to guide you, to educate you, and also support you as you go through this, right? Yes, M. Shell. As a matter of fact, we've had amazing success with a whole variety of things from, now look, we're not treating, curing, diagnosing, or making any medical claims. So I need to be very careful. All I can tell you is you could have those one-on-one discussions with coaches, but we've seen amazing things like with menopause, for example. We've seen amazing things with a whole number, because as you probably know, M. Shell, that autoimmune diseases, you also suffer from high degrees of inflammation, correct? Is that, you know that, right? Well, in the studies, this I can tell you because it's right in the study. This is the first time ever any diet, any nutrition, any weight loss program ever, they measured inflammation, and in 30 days, it came down 25%. So depending on what kind of autoimmune disease, many of them obviously are making you people very, very uncomfortable because of high levels of inflammation. So that alone, by being able to lower inflammation, no diet's ever produced anything like this. It's not a diet. It's a way of life. It's not a diet. I mean, we've got, and again, I just can't take the chance to be talking about, and I won't. We don't make claims, et cetera. But if you, again, that's part of the reason you can go and talk to the coaches for free. Does that make sense? And you're saying, yes, you see the New Health Conversation up there, and also above it, free coaching to ensure success. You see both of those, right? So give me a yes that you can read that. But I want all of you to know it's a free medical website. You go there to see the medical proof, and then schedule or don't schedule a free consultation. But the coaches are going to coach you the whole time, not just initially, because it's a little bit complicated. They're going to show you things like what the researchers developed, not us. But the people in these studies, this is what they gave, the blueprint for success. All these yellows here are daily videos explaining exactly what to do, why to do it, why it's safe. The main reason this whole thing is safe and how you maintain it. They even go so far as daily. You can see this, sorry. You can hopefully read it there. You get a daily schedule. You also get recommended food lists. And then those little squares are daily videos, day 1, day 2. There's no guesswork. And it's really easy to follow it along with your coach. Someone was saying before, though, it's way too complicated. No, it's not. Well, it'd be complicated if you didn't have these tools that the researchers developed for their patients. Because, yeah, this was different than what anybody had ever done before. So let's see. Yes, you're saying M. Shell, you see it. So again, for everybody, see it. Wow, we're at 5,600 likes already. Can we get some more taps? Tap, tap, tap. So Michael Stiles, you're still, for some reason, you're not giving me questions to answer. I'm not sure why. Well, maybe you got off because, you didn't like my answer, et cetera. But now I'm going to show you, and probably it's not still on, I'm going to show you what happens when an athlete does this and they do exercise. Okay, everybody, this is exactly 11 days with exercise on this protocol. Look at day 1, pretty darn good shape on day 1. And then you see in the middle, that's day 5. That's 4 days. That's the morning of day 5. And then look at day 12. That's 11 days in. That's with exercise. This is not a diet. It doesn't work like that. This is about being able to build lean muscle mass. Because the people in the studies, didn't exercise, and they gained 6 to 9% lean muscle. But my God, look at here. If you do exercise, what's potentially... See, fitness trainers should love this. This is like unbelievable what they could do for their clients. They just can't believe it because they're so locked into calories in, calories out, diet and exercise, strength training. None of that's bad. But it's not producing these kind of results in 11 days? Really? Is that not unbelievable, everybody? That transformation in 11 days? There's nothing like this. But see, the other problem with all the diets out there is this, that you, including my good friend Michael that's on here, he probably won't like that. But you, Michael, you have this syndrome, so do I, every person in the world. It's called TDOS. T for toxicity, D for nutritional deficiency, O for being overweight, S is for stress. It's a registered trademark, U.S. Patent Office, and yes, I discovered it. You're storing chemicals in your body, and no amount of exercise, no amount of saunas doesn't remove a gram of toxin. There's never been a toxin reported in fat cells, in sweat from fat. We're storing these chemicals. My God, they said 4 weeks ago they're finding microplastics in our brain and in our coronary arteries. But they're also finding herbicides and pesticides and Scotchgard and Teflon. No diet ever has produced even a gram of toxin leaving the body. This, they did blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis proving this was assisting the body in removing chemicals from us. That's why they shrank so much. Because what our body's doing to protect us, even if it doesn't show up on the outside, inside, they did a study on 400 fit athletes. They did MRIs on them. They found around the brain, the kidney, the liver, breast tissue, prostate, and men, this white halo of this toxic fat. You can't outrun this. You can't outwork this. We're breathing in the fumes from the coal-fired power plants from China from 2 weeks ago, the mercury and the cadmium, whether you know it or not. When we're finding plastics in our brain and in our coronary arteries, you think maybe you want to look at something different? Or not. I don't think there's anything good about having microplastics in your brain or in your coronary arteries. We're at a crisis point, everybody. Look, John, with all the good due respect, there's trainers and there's dietitians and there's nutritionists and there's medical doctors and there's chiropractors and fitness and workout people. But then we look at the reality of where are we as a society. Johns Hopkins Medical School predicts obesity apocalypse. By 2030, 86% of Americans are going to be overweight or obese in 4.5 years. We have more gyms and more diets. I work out. I worked out today. I have a trainer twice a week. The only reason they limited exercise, because everybody comes and say, well, of course they lost weight because it was diet and exercise. No, it wasn't. Nobody exercised. They wore Fitbits to prove they weren't exercising. I didn't do the studies. They're not my studies. People always want to argue with me for some reason. We're the researchers of the research. We're bringing this to all of you. Listen, you think you get on the cover, which this is now on the cover of Women's World on 6 days ago, or 7 days ago, June 9th, the #1 women's journal in magazine in the world, over 50 protein miracle. I coach both these women. The daughter, she's 57 years old, lost 50 pounds in 3 months. The mother, she's 80 years old. She lost 90 pounds in 9 months, and they both have kept it off for over 2 years. You can buy it today. Look what they said. Look what they said. Powerful new eating pattern can take off weight faster than anything else you've tried. That's the #1 women's magazine in the world endorsing this. And then they wrote a huge article inside about this. I'll show it to you just so you can see if you can still find. It's sold out from what I understand. You can't even find it. The magazine, I mean. Look at the title. New Protein Miracle Diet. It's not a diet, but that's what they called it. This is the top women's magazine in the world. You think you can fake this? You think you get on here if it's fake? Why they don't? There's no they didn't get any advertising for this. It'll help maybe sell magazines, but no one paid to be on the cover of this. You can't buy the cover of those kind of magazines. And then, but beyond that, we have 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies, and yet I don't get it. Why people would take their time and effort to go to the website, look at everything, get a coach, and then not respond to when the coaches are trying to help you. They're not there to sell you anything. They don't have anything to sell. They're going to give you the grocery list. You take to your grocery store, 30% of what you buy, and show you how to buy the other foods directly from the suppliers who went around the world to find these foods you can't find in North America. Well, you can't find this amount of nutrition in anything we've seen in North America. So even if you say, I eat whole foods and I eat healthy, good luck. Our food in this country is almost all but nutritionally insufficient at a minimum. Can you speak to any of this with autoimmune? I did already. Okay, just got here. Yes, for sure. Yes. Would anybody else like to ask me a question? Wow, I got some hearts. I got some good stuff going on. So, Michael says, I still don't understand what you said. Can't. That's just. You're probably still not on, and that's whatever. Let's keep going, everybody. Who would like to ask me a question about this? Because the medical evidence for this, let me read to you why calorie counting from a medical. See, people come on and give me opinions, but they don't have any facts. An opinion is not a fact. I'm sorry. I've been a nutritional researcher for 23 years. And I wrote 4 best-selling books, some of the biggest medical doctors in the world. They did 20 shows on public broadcasting. I was interviewed on the 4 biggest daytime shows in America and done over 1,500 live lectures around the world, including 2 years in a row being one of the keynote speakers at Autism One in Chicago, one of the biggest autism conferences in the world. Do you think when he said, I'm full of it, really? That's kind of a disgrace to the parents that I helped with the autistic children, isn't it? People can have opinions, but they don't matter unless they have medical facts. So let's talk about calorie counting. This is the medical explanation, not from me. The biggest failing of the calories in, calories out formula is it ignores that the body adjusts its control system when calorie intake is reduced. So while the formula can support people achieving weight loss initially, the formula meaning calories in, calories out, the reduction in energy intake ensures the lost weight will be regained. So all these diets you're going on, well, first of all, no one's even been able to tell me the definition of a calorie. Why are you all counting calories? Can anybody tell me why you'd be counting calories? Because someone told you? Grueling month using this program, got my money back. Well, I guess then you don't need to be on here. So let's just say goodbye to you and ride off into the sunset and have a great life. How about the hundreds of thousands of people that we've been able to help? I mean, nothing's 100, but you got your money back. So don't say you didn't get your money back. Good luck, Dinus, because what you're going to end up with, watch what happens. Watch what happens in the long run. Because diets don't work and this does. The fact you had a tough time, you probably are that toxic. So anyway, see you later, alligator. So who else would like to ask me a question? Because, I mean, again, she wasn't on yesterday when the lady comes on and says, I've lost 22 pounds in 23 days. Nothing's 100%. Of course not. But she got her money back. So that's pretty good. Because most people, their goal is not to try and get their money back. The goal of most people is to get a result that works. And nothing's 100%. We know that. It's unfortunate, sad. Okay. Because now you're back in the diet pool. Look at this. SM Rob, I'm down 12 pounds in 5 days. Hello, everybody. I don't even, and SM Rob. So what do you think about the program? And instead of, someone, but again, it didn't work for her. She got all her money back. What the hell kind of diet do you get to do that? So tell me, Sam Rob, you've lost 12 pounds in 5 days. Are you blown? What's your feeling about that? Tell me about your feeling. Grueling my foot. What do you feel about that particular outcome? And how are you feeling? I can't wait to see what she says. Sam and Rob 23. Look at that, everybody. I don't know her. She's one of the coaches. I mean, the coaches are coaching her. Listen to her, 12 pounds in 5 days. Are you kidding me? Aren't you now? Do you see? Do you see? I had no idea she was going to come on. That's wonderful. So, Sam and Rob, give us a more update about how you're feeling and your energy levels and everything else. And I'm sorry, Diana, that it didn't work for you. It can't work for everybody. That's even drugs don't work for everybody. So anyway, I'm new. What is the program? Jennifer McMillan. I'm going to tell you in 1 second, Jennifer, I promise. Jennifer, do you see right above you, Sam and Rob 23? She's in 5 days on this protocol. She's down 12 pounds. Can you see that, Jennifer? Give me a yes if you can see that. Right above you in the comments. I'm ready. Where do I start? Okay. Came to show live with the likes and shares. Came to show live with the likes and shares. I'm not quite sure. Yes, okay. So Jennifer and everybody else, I'm going to explain it to you in a moment. But somebody said, I want to get started. Okay, anybody that's interested in more information to get started, go to that website and then promise Jennifer, I'm going to go through the whole thing. So Salee, Salee, do you see the website in blue, the new health conversation? You go there, it's free to go there. Then right above, free coaching. If you like what you see, you scroll down, you get a coach just like Sam and Rob 23 did. But listen, everybody, that's not fake. She lost, listen to that, 12 pounds in 5 days. Are you kidding me? Are you serious? We know it works. What else on planet Earth works like that? Yes, Jennifer McMillan. All right, all of you, I'm going to explain exactly what Sam and Rob, can you imagine that, everybody? Jennifer, how excited would you be if you could lose 12 pounds in a week? Came to show love and info and coaching helps motivate. See, the coaching's free, all of you. And she got motivated. Jennifer, yeah, exactly. All right, so Jennifer and Celia and everybody else, let's go over exactly what they did. Let's come back on a more, this is, everybody I'm showing you now was in the medical studies, and no one was allowed to exercise. They wore Fitbits to prove they weren't exercising, okay? So what did they do? Okay, Jennifer and everybody else, here's what they did. And that's what Sam's doing. Sam and Rob 23, she's on this protocol. And she's on day 5. So let me explain to you what she did. She started out, well, let's talk about what did she do? What would she consume? There's no products involved here, Jennifer. Just be clear, no products at all. They put together a food list. She actually got a food list she could take to the grocery store: proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. Okay, and those items were laid out for her in serving sizes, not in calories. Okay, so 5 days a week, the food she was consuming. Breakfast was, well, I didn't tell you all. Sorry. I skipped a step. So 30% of what she consumed came from the grocery list she took to the grocery store. The other 70%, this is the most important part I missed, came from other researchers, not the ones who created this. They don't have any products to sell. We don't sell any products. But those researchers, okay, had gone around the world, Jennifer, to Russia, to Mongolia, to Tibet, South America, New Zealand, to find foods with huge amounts of nutrition, but small quantities of food. Does that make sense so far, Jennifer? That's what I'm telling you exactly what she did. So now they had the ingredients. 30% from her grocery store. And when I say 30%, what I mean is whatever she spent last month, she's only going to spend about 30% this month on foods, because they gave her the serving sizes, which are much smaller than what maybe you're used to. But remember, it's not based on the quantity of food, it's based on the quantity of nutrition. So these other foods from around the world that she consumed, that's 70% of what she spent, right? So last month she took her whole food bill. I don't know, some people say it's the same as what they spent. Some people say maybe it's $100 more per month when they do these. But these foods are coming from Russia and Mongolia and Tibet, South America, New Zealand. So it's pretty amazing. Why is it so affordable? Because you buy directly from the supply. By the way, those people, just like the lady that came in before, oh, it didn't work, except she got all her money back. It's 100% money back guarantee. You show me any diet with 100% money back guarantee, what would it be? What would it be? There isn't one. Okay, so now they had the foods, right? So now 5 days a week, she had 4 meals a day. She started with these exotic foods. That was breakfast, Jennifer. Lunch from the grocery store list, meal number 2. Meal number 3, dinner with your family from the grocery list. Meal number 4, after dinner, these exotic foods around the world. So 5 days a week, 4 meals a day. That's called protein pacing. I'll explain that in just a moment. Then 2 days a week, you and her would do, and that, see the lady today, that's what she did. So 2 days a week, she's doing, she's eating no food from the grocery store, only these foods from around the world, but this time she's eating 8 times a day. She's eating something every hour and a half. So what she did in this case to get to day 5, the first 2 days were protein pacing days. Because when you first start, it's 2 days protein pacing and then 2 days of what's called intermittent nutritional fasting, not water fasting, not time restricted eating. So she just said in 5 days, she's already down 12 pounds. Jennifer, you already said you'd be ecstatic, but that's what she did. Now, the thing I was going to tell you about protein pacing, everything the researchers proved was it mattered nutrition over a long period of time with very specific amounts at very specific times. It's all laid out for you, Jennifer, in this. These are the medical researchers put this together for the patients. It's called the Blueprint of Success. And everything is outlined for you. Those are daily videos, including on the second page here. I think you can even read that, the schedule and also the food list, and then those little squares. Those are daily videos with the researchers explaining to you why it's safe and why it works. There's no program like this on planet Earth. I don't know why more people, and what I find really strange, we've got lots of people that are signing up. They want a free consultation with one of the coaches. And then the coaches call them and they never call them back. It's like, what? Why? We're not selling you anything. You can't buy anything from us. We don't have any products. There's no products here. So Jennifer, does that make sense? And then the other part of this, okay, is maintenance. The whole key here is to get you to your goals quickly and safely as possible and then teach you how to keep. This picture's 8 years old. She's kept the weight off for 8 years. I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks 23 years ago, Jennifer. I've kept it off for 23 years. Try and do that on any diet. Isn't that just unbelievable? And like I said, they offer you 100% money back guarantee because nothing is 100%. We just had a lady before, it didn't work. Okay, great. Money back guarantee. Got our money back. Yes, thank you. This sounds wonderful. Okay, Jennifer. So again, Jennifer, I just want to make sure, Jennifer, do you see right above her head there the new health conversation? Please give me a yes. And you understand if you go there, we will not contact you. The only way we'll contact you is if you reach out to us, you'll get a free coach the whole time, Jennifer, for free. Not just initially, not just as you lose your weight, but teaching you maintenance. Guess how simple maintenance is, Jennifer? All of you. Me, this morning, my breakfast, these exotic foods from around the world, 2 normal meals, and then about once every 8 weeks, I do another 48-hour intermittent nutritional fast. I've lost 40 pounds, kept it off for 23 years, and I lost it in 7 weeks. So I didn't even do as well as some of these people did, but that's okay. I've kept it off for 23 years. Jennifer, doesn't that sound, oh, okay, you're logging in now. And like I said, Jennifer, you scroll down at the very bottom, you'll see it says free coaching and 100% money back guarantee. And we just had someone come on and say she got all her money back. Okay, great. I mean, not great. I wish it would have worked for her. I really do. I don't wish her ill will. But now what's she going to do? What diet does she think she's going to go on that's going to work? We have people that weigh 600 pounds that are able to do this, but not everybody's, not everybody gets the flu. Not everybody got COVID. It's a round robin of things, right? Yeah, Shelly, the website. Can you see it there right above her head in blue? Shelly, do you see it? The new health conversation. Is it Sally? I'm not quite, I don't want to mispronounce your name. But do you see it there now? Please give me a yes, Sully. The new health conversation. That's the website. No spaces, just there. Wow, we're at 7,600 likes already. So please let me know, Sully, if that's good. I mean, if you see the website. Not yet. You don't see the website? Do you see it right above her head there in blue? The new health conversation. Please let me know if you can see that. Otherwise, I'll spell it out for you. Oh, yes, okay. So you do see it. And you understand, if you go there, we're not going to contact you. Give me a yes. But if you like what you see, you can scroll down and contact us. So you're in control, not us. The only thing we ask, if you're going to sign up for a consultation and the coaches reach out to you, get back to them. We have a lot of people that are signing up for consultations and they don't show up. What's the point? You're not going to get these results if you don't know how to do it. And order the food. We don't sell you anything. It's free coaching. There's no gimmicks. There's no tricks. They're not calling you to try to sell you something. They're here to educate you. I mean, I don't know. That's all I can tell you. That's what we see all the time. I'm going to try to log in now. Great, Sally. Yes, sir. Okay, great. So who else would like to? Wow, 7,800 likes in 48 minutes. That's really pretty good. Who else would like to ask me a question? Sam and Rob 23, I'm thrilled for you. Sam and Rob, I forgot to ask you, who's your coach? Who's your coach, Sam and Rob 23? Did you all hear that? She's on day 5, and she's already down 12 pounds in basically in 4 days, because it's day 5 starting, but 4 days up to this point. What would you all do to lose 12 pounds in a week or in 2 weeks even, let alone in 4 days? We see it all the time. It's not a diet. Please, everyone understand. Oh, well, you got a really good coach and you know that I'm prejudiced, right? Oh my gosh, that's great. Now, did you give her the good news today? Did you text her or email her your results? I'm sure she's going to be thrilled for you. That I'm so happy for you. That's just great. So, and everybody, it's not, you hear when you get old, you can't lose weight, right? Look at this, 40.8 pounds, 52 inches in 30 days. Look at his stomach, everybody. But that's not the most impressive part of his story. Look at his lab work, A1C from 8.4 to 6.4, triglycerides 242 to 124 in 30 days. You think there's any diet like this? I'd love for someone to tell me what diet you think, because it's not even in the same zip code. You did. But let Sarah know too, Sam and Rob. Let Sarah know that those results, that was wonderful that you shared. That was absolutely fantastic. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, because you're going to help so many other people realizing that they can do this themselves. So for all of you, again, let's go back. You all can go. That's a free medical website above our head, the New Health Conversation. And if you like what you see, you can scroll down and you can see you can get a coach for free the whole time. There's no charge for coaching. They don't sell you anything. They don't have any products. You're buying food, and then you're taught a new way to consume food by the coaches and by the system. But look, here's a great story, everybody. Look at this. How about 200 pounds in less than a year, and she's kept it off? Where's all the loose skin? And now you might think it's photoshopped. Maybe you do. It's not photoshopped. You think her life is different? I mean, look at her face, but look at where her belt is. Where's all the loose skin? If you go to the website, right? If you go to the website, you're going to see people that lost 100 pounds with no exercise, and they have no loose skin at all. No loose skin. Now, if you do work out, I'll show you a picture next of someone. Look, the people so far that I've showed you did not exercise in the studies. That would be like Kristen, and then Julie, and then Curtis. They were not allowed to exercise, okay? Some of these other people did exercise and use the program. So if you look at, for example, this picture, this is pretty dramatic. 50 pounds in 4 months, but look at the transformation in his body. 50 pounds in 4 months. And look at the change in his body. This is real, everybody. It's not Photoshop. This is absolutely real. But how many of you would be, can anybody be honest with me and tell me, if you're going to lose 20 pounds, how long would you give yourself to lose 20 pounds? I'd love for anybody to make a comment. And can we get some more likes? We're stuck at 7,800. I'm not unhappy with that, but let's keep going. If you like the content, tap on that screen and keep going. We got new people coming on all the time. Aren't some of you curious about how she did that? But we also have a person who just finished on day 5, so 4 days. She's down 12 pounds in 4 days. This picture I'm showing is pretty average, like 5 pounds a week. That's pretty much the average that people that have to lose any weight at all. Do you know that most women on this, listen to me, ladies, that you're going to lose about a whole dress size in a week. A whole dress size just in a week. Isn't that amazing? Just amazing? Oh, I signed up, right. What is she doing? Taylor Dane 1. Exactly. Great question. I'm going to answer for you right now. So Taylor, she's not on a diet. She's not counting calories. And it was invented by the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world, who for 40 years had done 100 studies, thousands of people in every diet out there, and came to the conclusion that every single diet out there was a failure. And there was a pretty simple reason for that. Number one, every diet out there is some form of counting calories. The problem with that is the human body has no idea what a calorie is. So by focusing on calories, it really has no impact on the body. What matters to the body is we have a minimum amount, Taylor, of nutrition that our body runs on. When you go on a diet, you're lowering the amount of food you're consuming. What else are you doing by definition? You're lowering nutrition. When the brain figures out there's not enough nutrition, which is the only thing that runs our organs, our brain, our heart, our kidney, our liver, it doesn't run on calories. Human body has no idea what a calorie is. Why we're counting calories, I would have no idea, except that we are counting calories, right? So the bottom line is the researchers figured out that in order for them to do this, could they find foods with high levels of nutrition and smaller quantities? So they still had the theory, we're going to give you less food, but we're going to find foods with more nutrition. How did they do it, Taylor? They put together a grocery list for her and everybody else. So whatever she spent last month, she only had to spend about 30% of that total food budget at her grocery store, and she got a list from the researchers of proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. But instead of giving her calorie counts, they gave her serving sizes, okay? So that's why she only needed about 30% of the food she got last month. But here's the key, Taylor. The other 70% of what she consumed, she got directly from these researchers, not the ones who created this protocol. They don't have a product. They don't have a company. They're scientists. But these other researchers that spent 20 years going around the world to places like Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand, to find foods in those areas that had huge amounts of nutrition, no herbicides, no pesticides, etc. So now they had, let's call it the ingredients, right? 30% from the grocery store, you'd get a grocery list. The other 70% you'd buy directly from these researchers. Then they created 2 new ways of consuming food based on this new model of high nutrition and low amounts of food. 5 days a week, she literally had 4 meals a day. They could have never done this with regular food because regular food wouldn't have enough nutrition. So they started her day, breakfast, with these exotic foods from around the world. Lunch from the grocery store list, meal number 2. Meal number 3 was dinner with the family from the grocery list, and a 4th meal after dinner from these exotic foods from around the world. So that 5 days a week, 4 meals a day, that's called protein pacing. It's patented. The researchers got a patent on that. That's how powerful this is. And they don't sell any products, but they have they figured out the system, right? 2 days a week, you would do something, don't get scared when I tell you this, called intermittent nutritional fasting. Not fasting, not water fasting, not time restricted. In those days, Taylor, no food from the grocery store, only these exotic foods around the world. But this time, you would eat 8 times a day. You literally would be eating every hour and a half. Now, notice the terminology, protein pacing. The researchers figured out that what mattered, yes, you wanted all of this nutrition, but now how do you distribute in the most efficient way for the body to function and the body would never dip into starvation mode? Well, that's what they figured out. And look at now, Taylor, she was not allowed to exercise. Look at her stomach on day 1, look at her stomach on day 30. And she's kept the weight off for 8 or 9 years. Now, again, Taylor, what you can do, if you want to, you don't have to. All the medical proof, I'm backing up what I'm saying, is right there on that. You can see the website, the new, right above her head in blue, the new health conversation. If you go there, we won't contact you. But if you like what you see, scroll down, you get a free coach. It also says on there, by the way, 70% of the food you buy from these researchers around the world, they'll give you 100% of your money back guarantee. We just had a lady earlier today, and she commented, we're honest, we're open, okay, nothing is 100%. She said, oh, it was too difficult. They gave her all her money back. No questions asked. It's not some trick. It's not some gimmick. Nothing is 100% in this world, but this is probably 99%. Sager Jane, what is she doing? Taylor. So Taylor, does that make sense? And then Sarah Janey, I'm going to explain it to you again. But I just want to make sure, Taylor, that made sense to you and you understand. You can go to that website to see the medical proof. And then if you want, get a coach for free. Okay? So Sarah Jane, how did Kristen do this? How did she lose 21 pounds and 38 inches in 30 days with no exercise allowed? Okay? Here's what she did. The researchers who created this, Sarah, are the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world. And they figured out, after 40 years of research, 100 studies, that diets just don't work long term. The reason for that was the fallacy of a diet is somehow, some way linked to counting calories. Nothing could be farther from the truth. The human body has no idea what a calorie is. A calorie, I'm not going to tell you, but it's not a real thing. It's just a measurement, okay? What the body cares about is nutrition. So when you go, and we need a minimum of nutrition to run all our organs, our brain, our heart, our kidney, our liver, they run not on calories, they run on nutrition. Does that make sense? You can put a yes if that makes sense. So the researchers said, wait a minute. After 40 years, every diet we studied, 2/3 of people ended up weighing more than what they lost. And here's why. When you go on a diet, Sarah Jane, whether you know it or not, you're lowering the amount of food you're consuming. What else are you lowering? Nutrition. When your brain senses there's not enough nutrition, it goes in starvation mode and stops using your fat for fuel and turns to your muscles. As your muscles begin to be depleted, the brain has no choice but to slow down your metabolism. You probably have experienced that. You went on a diet, you lost weight initially, then it really slowed down and then it stopped. And you got frustrated and said, I'm at a plateau. No matter what I do, I can't lose any more weight. Yeah, because your body now is at a point where, we're not doing this anymore, and it's not gonna let you lose any, because the more weight you'd lose would be more lean muscle mass. So the researchers figured, could we come up with foods with high amounts of nutrition and less quantity of food? They put together a grocery list that you would get and she got from the grocery store. Only 30% of the food she bought last month, she would buy this month different foods to make up 30% of the dollars she invested, right? And they gave her a list of proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. But instead of giving her calorie counts, they gave her serving sizes, like how many ounces of protein, like a third or half a cup of this, or fruits, or whatever it was. All laid out. You don't have to guesswork. It's all laid out for you. So 30% of what she consumed came from the grocery store. But here was the secret for all of you. The other 70% came from these other researchers who for 20 years had gone around the world to places like Russia, to Mongolia, to Tibet, South America, New Zealand, to get foods with huge amounts of nutrition and small amounts of food by quantity, okay? So now they had the ingredients, but they didn't have the recipe yet. The recipe being, what did she actually do on a daily basis? 5 days a week, she had 4 meals a day. Yep, 4 meals. She started with these exotic foods. That was breakfast, meal number 1. Meal number 2, lunch from the grocery store list. Meal number 3, dinner from the grocery store list, and a 4th meal after dinner, these exotic foods. So 5 days a week, she was having 4 meals a day. That has a name. It's called protein pacing. I'll explain that to you in just a moment. 2 days a week, what she did was something called, and this will spin you, I know, intermittent nutritional fasting. Not fasting, not water fasting, not time-restricted eating. On those days, no food from the grocery store, only these exotic foods, but this time, they had her eating 8 times a day. She was eating every hour and a half, if that makes sense, every hour and a half. And look at the results. Now, the other thing you need to know about this is that she's kept that weight off now for 8 or 9 years. That's why the program is called R2M, Race to Maintenance. Every picture, I'll show you Julie here, this is even more dramatic. That's 35 pounds in 37 days, Sarah Janie. What do you think about that? Look at her body change. Look at the body conformation change there. Can everybody see that? Taylor Dane, good, you got it. Taylor Dane 1, yes, good, wonderful, wonderful. But do you see that, Sarah Janie? Now let me show you this is my friend's daughter. We didn't Photoshop this, but look at that. 60 pounds in 3 months, 60 pounds in 3 months. So what do you think about that, Sarah Janie? What do you think about that? Is that crazy? Is it the same woman? Is it even the same? Yes, it is, of course, we didn't Photoshop it. Now, what I want you to all see is you all can go and see the medical proof at the New Health Conversation. See it right above her head in blue, everybody. Can you see that? Sarah Janie, can you see that website, the New Health Conversation? No spaces. What's there? The medical proof? And we will not contact you, Sarah Janie, if you go there. The only way we'll contact you is if you contact us. All we ask is we got people that are signing up for consultations, and the coaches, they're having to follow up, and then you never get back to them. I mean, if you don't want to, then don't sign up. We only have so many coaches, and we only have so much time. Because we're coaching people free the whole time, not just initially when they lose weight, but teaching them how to do maintenance. We got people that weigh 500 pounds. Those coaches are coaching them for months and months and months. Yes, yes. It's free coaching. They're volunteering their time to help you because someone coached them. But Sarah Janie, what do you think about that picture? I mean, look at her face. Look at her arms. Look at her midsection. I mean, you all could think that's fake. It's not fake. Wow, we're at 9,500 likes. We're going for the record today. Everybody must like this podcast. So look at this, everybody. An older gentleman. How about 40 pounds, 52 inches in 30 days? That's 10 pounds a week. Least important part of his story. Look at his lab work before and after. A1C, 8.4 to 6.4. Ask a diabetic how dramatic that is in 30 days. But look at his triglycerides from 242 to 124 in 30 days. Come on, everybody, let's tap on this screen. Let's blow this up. I think my record, what is it, number of likes? I think it was more than, I'm going to say 15, 17,000. We're almost at 10,000 already. Just keep tapping. If you like the content, if you don't tap. But I'd love, super interested in this, would love to do this. Stay curious. Is that curious or curious? Do you spell curious with a K, or is that really your last name? Thank you for the info. How does someone join this program? Okay, LP4 success. Let me show you again. LP4 and also stay curious. Maybe it's curious. I'm not sure what. That's a very interesting name. Now, what I want to show to both LP4 and stay curious. Do you see above her head? By the way, that's the daughter of a friend of mine. We didn't Photoshop that. But see it in blue? Please give me a yes, either one of you, the New Health Conversation. That's the free medical website to go there. And what are you going to see if you go there? Only the medical proof. But it is an interview with the #1 weight loss nutrition physiologist in the world. #1. We won't contact you if you go there. But you notice right above it, the blue, where it says the New Health Conversation, see it? Free coaching to ensure success. Once you've got to see the medical proof, scroll down and get a free coach. Oh, also, it will say there 100% money back guarantee. I forgot to tell everybody that. The 70% of the food that you would buy from the researchers that come from all over the world, they'll give you 100% of your money back in the first 30 days. If for any reason it doesn't work, you don't like it, you have no risk. You'll see it right on the website, 100% money back guarantee. We don't sell you anything, so it's not coming from us, and it's not coming from the researchers who created, see what they did, the researchers, they figured out the food groups and then figured out these new ways of consuming, not a diet, nothing to do with dieting. And look at the results. So LP4, you saw that, right? Stay. Now, please clarify. I hate mispronouncing. So is it curious? Is it like for curious, but with a K, curios? Is that your last name? I hate mispronouncing people's names. I'm really a stickler for that. I don't want to do that. But stay curious. I'm going to call you that for right now until you correct me. Did you get to hear exactly what they did and why it worked and what you can do? If you didn't, I'll go over it again. So please let me know, stay curious. And LP4, did you hear me explain exactly what they did as well? My name is Carrie, so yes, curious. Oh, okay, curious. So, hey, I got it right. That was pretty good. Carrie in the groceries, okay. So LP4, you heard. What about you, Carrie? Curious? Did you get to hear the explanation? Oh, Amina, please go over it again. Woohoo! Okay. All right, Amina, everybody ready? Let's go look at Kristen. Now, the reason I'm showing you her, this is really pretty the average. 5 pounds a week. That's the average with no exercise. And most of you women, listen, please put it in the chat. You lose a whole dress size in a week with no exercise. So Carrie or any of you or LP4 or, I mean, what would you all think if you could lose a whole dress size in a week with no exercise? How would that, well, look at her stomach. Look what happened in a month. Now, how did they do this? Here's how. The researchers who created this. See, I get really excited, right? I'm half crazy. I've been a nutrition researcher for 23 years, and I'm not telling you to impress you. I've written 4 best-selling books, some of the top medical doctors in the world, 20 shows on public broadcasting, interviewed on the 4 biggest daytime shows in America, and over 1,500 live lectures around the world in universities and hospitals and towns. But for 22 of my 23 years, to give you an idea, in the medical world, it meant 0. Yep, 0. Until these 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies come out. So what I'm going to teach you now, or explain to you, is what did they do in these medical trials to produce these kind of results? Well, first, let's talk about why diets are failing us. Well, wait a minute here. Somebody kind of wrote a book about that, like in 2010, like 15 years ago. Why diets are failing us. Oh, that was me, along with a major medical doctor. I'm just having some fun now, okay? Now, let's talk about what did they do. But one other thing that I want to show to you, Carrie, and also to everybody else, this is the cover of Women's World magazine. Many of you women would be familiar with it. It's the #1 women's magazine in the world. Look at the headline, Over 50 Protein Miracle. The daughter in blue is a nurse. I coach both of these women. She lost 50 pounds in about 3 months. The mom, who's 80 years old, lost 90 pounds in 9 months, and they both kept it off for over 2.5 years. You think you get on the cover of Women's World if this wasn't real? They don't have to take that kind of a risk. So let's talk about what they did. So the researchers figured out the reason that all your diets fail you is simple. It has nothing to do with counting calories. It only has to do with a basic fundamental of human survival. And that is, we all run on a minimum amount, not of calories, nutrition. Does this make sense to everybody? When you go on a diet, what you're really doing is you're lowering the amount of food you're consuming. And by definition, what else you're lowering? Nutrition. When your body senses not enough nutrition, what does it do? It freaks out, goes in starvation mode, and immediately stops accessing fuel from your fat cells and does one of the most unhealthy things to you could ever do. And that's it begins to use your muscles for fuel. As the body uses your muscles, as you get less muscle, the brain slows down your metabolism. It doesn't have any choice. But you know what else it's doing to you? Slowing down your own immune system. You're literally making yourself unhealthy by going these diets, by calorie counting and having no relationship to the reality of how the human body actually works. Because we don't work on calories. The body has no idea what a calorie is, doesn't care about a calorie, only cares about nutrition. So the researchers, after 40 years, they did 100 studies, calories in, calories out. Thousands of people. And 2/3 of everybody on every diet they ever did gained more weight than they lost. So what they said was we made a huge mistake, and that is we should have concentrated on the minimum. The body has a minimum amount, not of calories per day, of nutrition. So when they put people on diets, or when you've gone on a diet, as they lower the amount of food you get, they're also lowering the amount of nutrition that triggers the starvation mode in the brain, causing it to burn your muscles for fuel. That slows down. That's why you plateau in these diets. That's why you come off the diets and you gain everything back. So what they did that was different, the researchers, they researched other foods, not just from the United States, but from around the world, that represented large amounts of nutrition in less quantities of food. So 30% of what you consume came from the grocery store. You'd go and get organic food, and you'd have a list, but not calorie counts, serving sizes, proteins, fats, carbs, vegetables, and fruits, but not calorie counting, serving sizes. So a simple way to explain it, whatever she spent on groceries the month before, or you'd only spend about 30% or less this month on the foods, because you're getting really small quantities of the foods that the researchers picked out. These aren't recipes. These aren't diet. No, this is food groups. And they give you serving sizes, like protein, how many ounces, like vegetables, what third or half a cup, it's all laid out. You don't have to guess, all right? So 30% of what you consume came from the grocery store. Here was the key. The other 70% for all of you came from these other researchers who had spent 20 years going around the world to Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, and the Himalayas, South America, and New Zealand to find foods with huge amounts of nutrition, but small quantities of food. Does that make sense to everybody? So it wasn't based on how much, it was based on it wasn't based on how much food, it was based on how much nutrition. So they had 30% from the grocery store, you get the list, and 70% from these other foods that our coaches show you, will give you the grocery list, but also show you how to order directly from the researchers, because you buy directly from the researchers. You don't buy from our coaches. One of the reasons this is so affordable is you're buying directly from the source. There's no middleman. The researchers who created this, they don't sell you anything. They don't have a company. They're scientists. So now they had the food groups, right? 30% from the grocery store, 70% from these exotic foods around the world. And then so 5 days a week, she had 4 meals a day. You did the same thing. You'd start your day with these exotic foods around the world. That's breakfast. Lunch from the grocery store list, only grocery store list. Dinner, third meal of the day from the grocery store list, and a fourth meal after dinner, these exotic foods around the world. So you'd start your day with the exotic foods and you'd end with the exotic foods. Now, this is called protein pacing. Now, why that's so important, the researchers always figured out, or did also figure out, it wasn't about like having one meal with all this nutrition. No, the most efficient way to do it, which is what they proved, was to spread out the nutrition. That's what protein pacing does, if that makes sense to you, okay? So 5 days a week, she was having 4 meals a day. 2 days a week, she did something called intermittent nutritional fasting. Not fasting, not water fasting, not this stupid time-restricted eating, which is total nonsense, okay? On those days, no food from the grocery store. Only these exotic foods from around the world. But this time, you're going to be eating 8 times a day. So you're fasting with nutrition. You're eating something every hour and a half. Again, the pacing was critically important, because now, as far as the bulk, the amount of food you were consuming, it was pretty small, but the nutrition was very high. So the body never went into starvation mode. Diabetics thrived on this. thrived on it. Do you know in a month's time they proved people's hunger went down on this 41% in a month? In 2 weeks, all people's cravings for the most part were gone. And nothing's 100%, of course. We had a lady today that, but here's true to the word. She couldn't say anything bad other than it didn't work for her. But there's a 100% money back guarantee from those those other researchers. You have no risk. I mean, you're buying a month's worth of food, but 30% obviously from your grocery store. They're not going to give you a guarantee. I don't think they're going to give you your money back. But that's how confident they are it's going to work. And nothing's 100%. We're totally transparent. But my God, out of thousands and thousands and thousands of people, it's so rare when it didn't work for them. Well, we know that a lot of times certain people, certain things just don't work. That doesn't mean the rest of you, it can't change the rest of your life. Does timing of eating meals matter? Oh my God, it's Carrie, it's everything. I just explained it to you. Now, also Carrie and everybody else, let me explain to you what maintenance looks like. I'll tell you how simple maintenance is. These exotic foods for breakfast every day, 2 regular meals, and then every couple months do another 48-hour intermittent nutritional fast. Now, the thing I didn't tell you, Carrie, or anybody else, you think you're excited now, wait till I tell you this. The other thing that we're all fighting, including myself, is this new medical syndrome that's a registered trademark U.S. Patent Office. What's it called? It's called TDOS, T for toxicity, D for nutritional deficiency, O for being overweight, and S is for stress. Oh, Peter Greenlaw. Oh, that would be me. I did discover it. It's a registered trademark U.S. Patent Office, a new medical condition, which basically means we're drinking, breathing, eating chemicals. As they're coming in our body, once the liver can't handle them anymore, the body has no choice but to take the chemical and stuff it in your visceral fat, especially the abdomen areas. Look at her stomach on day 1, everybody. Look at her stomach on day 3. The researchers did blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis proving that this protocol, no diet's ever shown this in history, it was helping the body remove the chemicals from the body. That's why she shrank, not from doing sit-ups or crunches. She was not allowed to exercise. They wore Fitbits proving they didn't exercise. And a lot of our fitness people, they want to jump on me and go, oh, he's full of it. No, I'm not. Because we have the medical proof to prove that one of the conditions in the studies was that the participants agreed to wear Fitbits to prove they weren't exercising. Look, just because it wasn't invented doesn't mean it wasn't possible. I mean, we're right now looking at, I've got it here, right here, Johns Hopkins Medical School. Study predicts obesity apocalypse by 2030. They're estimating 86% of Americans will be overweight or obese in 4.5 years. Does that sound to you like diets are working, any of you? Now, here's the other thing that I would encourage you all to do. If you like what I've just said, the website, you can all see it there in blue, the new health conversation. You can go there and see all the medical proof. We won't contact you. But you can sign up for a free coach. You're not signing up for anything, just make an appointment with a coach. So if the coaches reach back out to you, at least have the courtesy to respond back. We've got more than 50% of the people that they're going to the website, they're requesting a coach, and then the coaches are trying to call them. We only have so much time. If you're really serious about this, you're going to want to talk to a coach. They're going to coach you for free. They're giving you their time because someone coached them. So that's the only thing we ask out of respect for the coaches. We got medical doctors, we got PAs, we got physicians. But everybody's gone through the process and understands how to coach you. As a matter of fact, not only that, this is what the medical research has put together. It's called the Blueprint for Success. Each one of those are daily videos from the researchers who created this. This is crazy good, including you even get, I'll show you right here. You can read, there's the daily food list and the daily schedules, and see these little squares? Those are daily videos, like you're on day 1. This is what's going on. This is why it's medically, I know it sounds too good to be true. Who else is showing you anything like this? I see people that want to sell you an app to give you recipes. What? Recipes? I mean, that doesn't work. Let's talk now again about why calorie counting. This is a medical brief on this, not my opinion. I'm reading from the medical brief. Whoops, it was upside down. No wonder I couldn't read it. Here we go. Sorry. The biggest failing of the calories in, calories out formula is it ignores that the body adjusts its control system when calorie intake is reduced. So while the calories in, calories out formula can support people achieving weight loss initially, The reduction in energy intake ensures the lost weight will be regained. How's that sound? These are medical experts telling you that counting calories can't possibly work. Well, these researchers figured it out. My God, we've even got, I have it here. Oh, let me find it for all of you. Listen to me, everybody. Harvard Medical School, stop counting calories. This is Harvard Medical School. They went on to say the idea, let me read it, the idea of a calorie in and a calorie out when it comes to weight loss is not only antiquated, it's just wrong, says Fatima Stanford obesity specialist, Harvard Medical School. Drop the calories notion, Stanford said. It's time to concentrate on what's in our food, not how much food we're consuming. Whoa, that's what these researchers did. They have nothing to do with Harvard. These major medical obesity experts now are saying we were completely wrong. Counting calories can't possibly work. It doesn't work. It won't work. I mean, Medicare, this big study, listen to this title, Medicare's search for effective obesity treatments, diets are not the answer. Our researchers at Medicare reviewed studies of long-term outcomes of calorie-restricted diets to assess whether any diet is an effective treatment for obesity. The researchers found in the studies that 2/3 of dieters regained more weight than they lost on any diet. In summary, there's little support for the notion that diets lead to lasting weight loss or health benefits. This is the medical science. This is Medicare. They don't have a dog in this hunt. They're looking for a solution to bring healthcare costs down. Because now we've got about 50% of the 80% of people that are overweight in this country are pre-diabetic. So they're on the verge of glucophage, metformin, insulin. We're not going to have enough drugs if this thing continues. And yet, what do we keep doing? We keep counting calories, diet and exercise, 10,000 steps, drink more water. None of it works. The time I lost weight was when I worked out 4 hours a day, 6 days a week, and kept calories. Wow, yeah. Yeah, see that 800 calories, no. Yeah, gained it all back plus 20, yep. I can confirm. So she's confirming, I don't know her. She's not doing this on my benefit. She's doing it because she understands. So, Carrie, does this make perfect sense from a, how can I explain it to you? From a logical medical explanation of why diets fail. You can understand how in the heck did she lose 60 pounds in 3 months. As a matter of fact, there's the real, she lost 60 pounds in 3 months. We forgot to put that in the title, but it's okay. She really did lose. Look at her arms, look at her face, look at her body, everybody. And on the website, if you go back again to the website for everybody in blue right above her head, the New Health Conversation, there are people on there, as you'll see, who lost 100 pounds, no loose skin. Now listen, are we crazy? We're giving you a free website with medical proof, with an interview with the #1 weight loss nutrition physiologist in the world for free. And he's going to tell you why they'll never recommend any form of any diet you're on now. They'll never do it again. They're the top people in the world. If they're saying, stop, get over this calorie counting, this diet mentality doesn't work. I mean, honestly, there are people who still want to argue with me, but it's not my research. So if they're arguing with me, they're arguing with the medical research, and they're coming on and giving me opinions. They're nice people. They're, fitness people or whatever they might be. But they don't have one shred of medical evidence to back up what they're claiming they think they know. Like one person said, you're full of it. Of course they had to exercise. No, they didn't. No. It's right in the studies. It was one of the parameters of the study that no one was allowed to exercise. They were basically had to be sedentary for the most part. Obviously they could, walk around the house, but they weren't going to the gym. They weren't they weren't doing any major kind of exercise. Yeah, she looks so good. How no loose skin? Well, because the fact of the bloating, let's look at, who else can I show you? Let me see her better picture here. So let's look at her face, look at her arms, look at the stomach area. So what's causing that bloating is literally the chemicals in the body are inside fat cells throughout our body. And as the body takes the chemical and stuffs it in the fat cell expands. See, we don't lose fat cells, but they can contract. So what's happening here is, and remember, with no exercise, she gained 6 to 9% lean muscle mass. So let me give you a simple explanation, Carrie. A pound of fat and a pound of muscle weigh the same. I hear people all the time say, well, a pound of muscle weighs more than a pound of fat. It's impossible. No, it's physics. A pound of feathers and a pound of steel, they weigh the same. They weigh the same. Now, the difference with fat, it takes up 10 times the volume in our body. Okay? So what happens with the fat cell, especially now we know, as it's storing the chemicals inside the fat cell expands. Okay, well, think of it this way. What's happening in this, the fat cell is shrinking, literally creating more room for the body to make muscle, and muscle supports everything. You're increasing your lean muscle. That's why she doesn't have any loose skin. I have a guy in Denver who lost he weighed 587 pounds. In 20 months, he lost almost 400 pounds, no loose skin. He went from a 64-inch waist to a 36-inch waist in what was 20 months. We see this all the time. I was trying to tell you, this is pretty much, that's normal. 5 pounds a day, because look at Curtis, everybody. 10 pounds a week. He's an older guy. Look at his stomach. See, there you go, Carrie. There's the illustration of those fat cells shrinking and making room for his lean muscle. And that's without them exercising. If you exercise, it's even more. I mean, I'll show you this guy, Brian. Look at this. He lost 50 pounds. Look at the change in his body composition. Where's the loose skin around his stomach? Well, shouldn't he have loose skin? Do you see how crazy that is? Or I love this one. This lady is amazing. 200 pounds in less than a year. Look at the change in her. Where's the loose skin? Where is it? She had no surgery. See, all of you, you're still going to hang on to your diets. Most of you, you won't even go to the website, even though it's free to go there, and we're not. And then you're signing up for free consultations, and then you're not responding. Why? We're not going to sell you. We're not selling you anything. We have nothing to sell. We're going to show you how to buy 30% of your food from the grocery store and 70% from the supplies, and then teach you how to do this. What am I missing, everybody? This is life-changing. This is going to make every diet obsolete. I know. Carrie, this is insane. I get it. But how excited are you? Where do we go to learn how? Again, Hart, Florinda. Do you see the website right above her head there, Florinda? The New Health Conversation. Please give me a yes if you see that. People are having trouble reading it sometimes. I want to make sure you can read it. So please but that's the website where you can go to, and you can see the medical proof, and we won't contact you if you go there. Oh, Florinda, you see it. Okay. So write that website down. No spaces, the New Health Conversation. Once you go there and look at the medical proof, then you see free coaching. You can then have a free consultation with a coach who also will coach you the whole time, Florinda. Free. No gimmicks, no tricks. You don't buy any food from the coaches. You don't buy any food from the researchers who created this. 30% of what you're going to buy comes from the grocery store. You get a grocery list of proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables that the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world, they put this together. The other 70% you buy directly from these other researchers who had gone around the world to Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand. This is for everybody, Florinda, not just for you, to explain to you how did she do this. And then they invented 2 new ways of consuming the food. Basically, 5 days a week, she had 4 meals a day. She started with the grocery list, very specific serving sizes, starting with these exotic foods for breakfast, then lunch from the grocery store list, dinner from the grocery store list, and a 4th meal after dinner, these exotic foods. So 5 days a week, she was eating 4 times a day. That's called protein pacing. 2 days a week, she did something called intermittent nutritional fasting. Not fasting, not water fasting, not time restricted. In those days, no food from the grocery store, only these exotic foods around the world. But this time she ate 8 times a day. She was eating every hour and a half. Because what the researchers found, there was a critical piece, the timing of when they ate. It wasn't just giving people way more nutrition and less food. It was when they gave, how much they gave, over what period of time. The timing was everything. That's why something like this time-restricted eating where you don't eat from 8 o'clock at night until noon the next day. Crazy stupid. Crazy. I have the medical proof over here from the Journal of the American Medical Association about this time-restricted eating thing. Listen to this. Is a 3-month study. Journal of the American Medical Association, not somebody on the internet giving you an opinion. Oh, you can lose 20 pounds in a month and most of it's fat. Number one, that's a flat out lie. You can't lose fat. There's no such thing. You cannot lose fat. You have the same number of fat cells you're born with and you die with. You can expand or contract them. So let's talk about the study. The Journal of the American Medical Association, new research found that overweight adults who were assigned to routinely fast 16 hours a day, that's time-restricted eating, over 3 months, gained almost no benefit from it. And over the course of 3 months, it lost an average of 2 to 3.5 pounds. And most of the weight they shed was not body fat, but lean muscle mass. This is science. It's not a bunch of nonsense. Well, look at her. Look at her. This she should prove. Oh, good, Carrie. Wonderful. And Carrie, do you agree there was nothing? We didn't contact you, right, Carrie? Give me a yes or no. And do you agree there was nothing on that website to buy? It was just a medical proof. And Carrie, did you get a chance to scroll down and look at some of those before and afters? Did you see the people, men and women lost 100 pounds, no loose skin? Did you get a chance to see that, Carrie? She'll probably answer in a moment. Wow, we're at 11,000 likes. We're going for the record, everybody. Can everybody? Yvonne sent me a heart. Celia sent me a heart. Shanine sent me a. Wow, all of you is so kind. It just makes total sense. And yes, but are those before and afters? Are they? How would you give me an adjective, Carrie? What would you say about those before and afters? Once you realize they're real, right? So this particular lady, she just went to the website to see, and she already is getting a free coach. And if you want to do that, look, it's right there above her head, the New Health Conversation. She's going to get a free coach. It's going to explain everything for her. The other reason why you want a free coach, we don't know anything about you. I actually don't know if Carrie, if she wants to lose weight or gain weight. How old is she? How much does she exercise? We got kids as young as 2 doing this. We have people with no thyroids. We have a man with a heart transplant. We have people with no gallbladders. We have people with a kidney transplant, and we're not treating, curing, diagnosing, or preventing any diseases. We're sharing with you just what's in the medical studies. But my gosh, on that website, there's an interview with the #1 weight loss nutrition physiologist in the world who goes over all this and why it's safe and why it works and why they will never. They're the top weight loss researchers in the world. They said in the interview they'll never recommend to any patient ever again a traditional diet. And they don't sell anything. They don't sell any of the stuff. You're buying food. You're not buying from them. I know it sounds good to be true, and that's why you all become skeptical, or maybe you filled it out and you get cold feet. But look, if you want really to talk to a coach, all we ask, please, when they reach out to you, reach back to them. They're volunteering their time for free. And we only have so many hours in the day. We've got so many people that want to be coached on this. So trying to track someone down 2 or 3 different times, if you don't want to coach, then don't sign up for free coaching. That's all. We're happy to help you. It's free. It's not just the initial consultation. They'll coach you all the way through and teach you maintenance, which is the main. She's maintained that now for 8 or 9 years, that weight loss. Good. Carrie, I can't wait for you to do that. That would be wonderful. See what you said? I'm going to do this and come back and be a live testimonial. Well, were you on, Carrie, when we had the woman a little bit earlier? She was on day 5, everybody. Day 5 of this protocol. She's down 12 pounds in 4 days, because day 5 is the morning of day 5. What do you all think about that? Oh my God, it's unhealthy to lose that much weight that fast on a diet. Well, number one, it would never even happen on a diet. Number 2, yeah, if it was a diet. This is not a diet. Our biggest challenge, we're scientists, we're researchers, okay? And we're competing with all these people on social media that don't have one shred of medical evidence. We are the competition. Where is their proof of what they're telling you to do? Huh? So I need to 80 plus pounds. Okay. All right, so what do you think about that? Well, let me show you her picture. This is the daughter of a friend of mine. How excited would you be? I want to make sure I pronounce it. What a beautiful name. Orquindia, I believe it is, Orquindia. If I mispronounce it, please don't get mad at me, because I want to be accurate. But look at that picture. That is not Photoshop. What do you think about that? 60 pounds in 3 months. But even better than that, let me show you something else. This is the cover, if you can still get it. It came out June 9th, of Women's World magazine, Orquindia. I coached these 2 women. The daughter, who's a nurse, she's 57 years old. She lost 50 pounds in 3 months, not 60, she lost 50. The mom, though, who's 80 years old, lost 90 pounds in 9 months. So how excited would you be if you can do this? Now, let's explain to you, how did she do it? Okay, let's start with kind of the average, just so you understand. A minimum is this right here. Most people, 5 pounds a week. Now, you have more weight to lose, you probably will do better than that, but I'd rather under-promise and over-perform, right? Now, how in the world did she do this? Well, number one, Orquita, it's not a diet. It's not about counting calories. It's not about exercise. No one's allowed to exercise, by the way. This woman, they all had to wear Fitbits proving they weren't exercising. And let me show you one other quick picture. This is 35 pounds in 37 days. So she lost about 7 pounds a week. My guesstimate for you, how excited would you be if you lost 25 or 30 pounds in the first month, like a pound a day? Tell me in the chat if that would excite you. Would you be motivated to finish, right? So let's talk about what you would do, what she did, what they all did. So, okay, let's talk about why diets are miserable failures. Because every diet out there that I'm aware of is some form of counting calories. The biggest fallacy in that is the human body has no idea what a calorie is. It doesn't count calories. When you're hungry, you're not hungry for calories. You know what you're hungry for? Well, there's a minimum amount of something we need in our body in order for us to be alive. Well, other than oxygen, of course. You know what that is? Nutrition. So all the diets you've ever been on before, what you did is you lowered the amount of food you consumed. But what else did you lower? The amount of nutrition. Give me a yes if this is making sense. So what happens when the brain senses you have not enough nutrition to run all the organs, because the organs, brain, kidney, liver, heart, etc., lungs, they run on nutrition. They don't run on calories. So now you've lowered the amount of food, you've lowered the amount of nutrition. The brain goes, you're starving to death. It immediately shuts down any access to fuel from your fat cells and turns to your muscles for fuel. When that happens, then the brain doesn't have a choice. As you use more and more muscle to fuel your organs, the brain has to slow down metabolism because there's not enough fuel. It also slows down your own immune system. So the very diet you've been on or you're on, any of you right now, you're making yourself unhealthy because you're losing lean muscle mass. It's not up for debate. Every study shows that, okay? So the researchers, here's what they did, and here's what you would do, and here's what she did. The researchers put together a food list. 30% of the food she bought, let's back up. If you took all the food she bought last month, she's only buying 30% this month when she did this from the grocery store. And she got a list from the researchers of proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables, but not calorie counting, serving sizes. So she only spent about 30% of the money she spent last month on food, but on these very specific foods in very specific quantities not related to calories. Got it so far? The other 70% came from other researchers, not the ones that created this, because they don't have any products. They don't have a company. There's no products here. This is all food. 70% of what she consumed came from exotic foods that these researchers had found over 20 years around the world in Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand that represented huge amounts of nutrition, but smaller quantities of food. So now they had the ingredients. You're with me? 30% from the grocery store, 70% from these foods from around the world. Then they put together completely new eating patterns or plans, whatever you want to call them. 5 days a week, she, you, whoever was doing this, you would have 4 meals a day. Yep. Starting with these exotic foods from around the world, lunch from the grocery store list, meal number 2, meal number 3, dinner with your family, and a 4th meal after dinner from these exotic foods from around the world. Now, I know it sounds strange, you're having 4 meals a day, but look at the results. That's 5 days a week. Now that has a name, it's called protein pacing. Now why is that important? Because the other thing the researchers proved, it wasn't just about giving you enough nutrition, it was how you spaced it out over the course of say 10 or 12 hours. That's why it's called protein pacing, meaning you're pacing, okay? The nutrition. So 5 days a week, 4 meals a day. 2 days a week, you're gonna do something that, don't get scared when I tell you this, intermittent nutritional fasting. Not water fasting, not time-restricted eating or that nonsense. On those days, no food from the grocery store, only these exotic foods around the world. But this time, you'll eat 8 times a day. You basically are eating about every hour and a half. Nobody was hungry doing this. And we had people who weighed 500 pounds. In a month's time, they measured people's hunger went down 41% in a month. And in 2 weeks, pretty much everybody's cravings went away. Because your body was not craving for calories. It was craving for nutrition. But it was not just giving it nutrition, it was how it was paced. And again, look at the results. Now, the key to this is not that we can get the weight off you, like say you're 80 pounds. We'll get that handled. But the key is to teach you how to keep it off for the rest of your life. All the pictures I'm showing you here, they're all, the pictures were like 8 or 9 years ago. They've kept the weight off for 8 or 9 years. The researchers who did these medical studies, some of the studies started in 2012, 13 years ago. They've monitored the people. They've kept the weight off now for 13 years. I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. And keep in mind, no one was allowed to exercise. Now, we're not against exercise, the researchers weren't, but why did they do that? It made them wear Fitbits to prove they weren't exercising. Why? Because they didn't want exercise to be an outlier. Otherwise, you'd say, well, of course they lost weight because it was diet and exercise. No, it wasn't. There was no exercise involved. I know it sounds too good to be true, but let me explain one other thing to you. So this website right above our head there in the New Health Conversation, you can go see the medical proof, including an interview with the #1 weight loss nutrition physiologist in the world. They have said now they'll never put a patient ever again on a traditional diet. So, I mean, this could change the rest of your life, Orkita. It really, really could. Yes, Carrie, you're right. SD Perez, interested. Okay, SD Perez, did you get to hear what I just explained about what they did? And also look at this older gentleman, SD Perez. How about 40 pounds and 52 inches in 30 days? And then look at his lab work. Look at his A1C from 8.4 to 6.4. Triglycerides 242 to 124. So SD Perez, did you get a chance to hear me explain what they did? If not, I'll repeat it again. That's my job, is to make you aware. Now it's live. It's not pre-recorded. It's not, AI. It's really me. It's really June 16th at 12:11 p.m. in Denver, Colorado. Whatever part of the world you're in. I'm not sure what time you're in there. Repeat, please. Okay. Now, let's go back and look at the minimum. I know this sounds crazy to you, but this is kind of the minimum. People on this are losing at least 5 pounds a week. That's the low average. Most women lose a whole dress size in a week with no exercise. It's not a diet. It has nothing to do with counting calories. And it was just featured on the cover of Women's World magazine, the #1 women's magazine in the world. I coached these two women. The daughter, the blonde, is a nurse. She's 57 years old. She lost 50 pounds in 3 months. The mom is 80 years old. She lost 90 pounds in 9 months, and they both kept it off for 2.5 years. Look at the magazine. Over 50 protein miracle. This is not us saying that. This is the magazine. And I promise I'm going to get to what they did here in a minute, but I just want to show you, for credibility standpoint of view, why it's so important that you probably want to listen to what I'm going to tell you next. If I can just find it. Let's see, the next page. This is really amazing. Look at this, everybody. 2-page article, New Protein Miracle Diet. Well, #1, it's not a diet, but we'll explain that in a moment. So, okay, what did they do? What's so different about this? Well, the researchers that created this are considered the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world for 40 years, 100 studies, thousands of people on every diet you can imagine. And 2/3 of everybody on every diet every time gained back more weight than they lost. And here was the fatal flaw. Any diet you're on now counting calories. First of all, does anybody even know what the technical definition of a calorie is? Yes, P. Reed, I'm explaining it right now, okay? So what the researchers figured out was the fallacy with the diet is the body runs on a minimum amount of what? Not calories, everybody. Nutrition. When you go on a diet, think about what you're doing. You're reducing the amount of food. This is what the researchers figured out. They were reducing the amount of food they were giving to people. But what were they really reducing? Nutrition. When the brain figured out there wasn't enough nutrition, the brain literally went into survival, starvation mode. Because in a sense, you're starving yourself of nutrition. And because the body doesn't work on calories, it doesn't know what a calorie is. Your brain, heart, kidney, what does it run on? It runs on nutrition, and we have a minimum level. So now you're going on these crazy diets, lowering the amount of food, you're lowering the amount of nutrition. And when that happens, the brain has no choice but to stop accessing fuel in your fat cell and turns to your muscles for fuel. We have the proof. 25 to 40% of which you've lost on any of these crazy diets is lean muscle mass, which that results in the brain slowing down your metabolism. That's why you plateau in these diets, yo-yo. That's why you gain everything back and more. But the other thing it does to you probably didn't know, when you lose lean muscle, you also slow down your own immune system. I'll tell you a story about that in a little while, about my younger brother, but that's for another moment. So the researchers said, what if we could find foods not based on the quantity of the food, based on how much nutrition was in those foods. So the idea was we'll give you less food by quantity, but give you more nutrition. So here's what they did. This is what she did. This is what you do. You literally get a grocery list. Now, if you took what you spent on food last month, imagine you're only going to spend with this protocol 30% of what you did last month at the grocery store, and you're going to get a list developed by these top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world, and that consists of proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. But instead of giving calorie counts, they're going to give you serving sizes, like how many ounces of protein, how many, is it a third or half a cup of strawberries or whatever it might be, right? Now, the key was they didn't care about calories. What they cared about was enough nutrition. Now, that's only 30% of what you consume. What about the other 70%? Well, that came from other researchers, not the ones who created this, because they don't have a company, they don't have any products. They're scientists, the top ones in the world in weight loss, nutrition, physiology. They found these other researchers who for 20 years had gone around the world and gone to places like Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand to find foods with huge amounts of nutrition, but small amounts of food by quantity, right? These are not foods you can buy at your local grocery store. Okay, let's just start with that. So the key was now they had the ingredients, which was what? 30% from the grocery store and 70% from these exotic foods. So then they created new ways of consuming because they had a new model, not based on calories, not based on quantities, based on nutritional density. So 5 days a week, she was able to have 4 meals a day. What? Yes. Starting with these exotic foods, that was breakfast. Lunch from the grocery store list. Meal number 2, meal number 3 with a family, dinner from the grocery list, and a 4th meal after dinner, these exotic foods. Now, the other key to this, listen to what it's called. It's called protein pacing. What the researchers also proved that the way we're eating was wrong. A lot of people, they eat 1 meal a day and all that. No. If you want to be the healthiest and most effective and get your weight under control, you want to space out the nutrition. That's why it's called protein pacing. So she ate over about a 10-hour window of time. Then 2 days, now that's 5 days a week, 4 meals a day. 2 days a week, she did something, wait till you hear this, intermittent nutritional fasting, but not fasting, not water fasting, not time-restricted eating. On those days, no food from the grocery store, only these exotic foods from around the world, but this time she got to eat 8 times a day. What? Yes. She was eating about every hour and a half. Again, what was the critical part? Giving the nutrition over a period of time. Well, look at the results. Look at day 1, day 30. Look at that, 21 pounds. But look at her stomach. Look at how much her body, shrank. Why? Because we know the other part you need to all understand that you've never heard of before is called the TDOS syndrome that I have and you have and every person in the world. TDOS, T for toxicity or toxins, D for nutritional deficiency, exactly what we've been talking about, overweight and stress. It's a registered trademark, U.S. Patent Office. Oh, Peter Greenlaw. Oh, that's me. I did discover this. What it means is we're storing herbicides and pesticides and Scotch guard and Teflon in our body, in our fat cells, primarily in a big portion in the abdomen area. That's why look at day 1, look at the bloating in her stomach. And then look at day 30 with no exercise, no sit-ups, no crunches, nothing, no. Why? Because the researchers did blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis proving that this was detoxing the body. That's really what this is. It's not a diet, it's a detox. And now that we know that we're storing all these chemicals inside our fat cells, wouldn't you want to be able to do something about it or not? Are you just going to ignore it? The average adult on this podcast right now, you have about 1,000 chemicals embedded in your in your visceral fat. This isn't an opinion on my part. This is what's going on. So all of you hopefully are learning something here. And I would encourage all of you to now, did that make sense to everybody? SD Perez and Taylor and P. Reed. I want to make sure. I don't want to leave this because I'm going to show you the website where you can go and see the medical proof. But I don't want to do that until I make sure I've answered all your questions or comments. So are you all good? Is everybody good? You understand what I just said? Now I want to show you, okay, where's the execution? Okay, so here, right above her head in blue, you can see it, the New Health Conversation. It's a free medical website for you to go to. There's nothing to buy there. Listen to me. We will not contact you if you go to that website. There's no spaces, the New Health Conversation. You know why? Because we want you to have the freedom to go and look at the medical proof on your own. But then once you look at it, now you're probably going to be even more excited than you are now. You can get a free coach. You scroll down, get a, oh, by the way, I forgot the best part. The 70% of the food that you would buy, SD Perez or Taylor or P. Ride or any of you, those researchers will give you 100% of your money back in the first 30 days, no questions asked. It'll say on the website, free 100% money back guarantee. That's what it means. Not from us, because we're not selling you anything. But imagine, now nothing's 100%. We just had a lady, but she verified, she got all her money back. You have no risk. Your risk is you're going to hang on to this old dog water, calories in, calories out, lose weight and gain it all back, but you're making yourself unhealthy at the same time. Look at this. I mean, come on. 60 pounds in 3 months. Look at her face, arms, body. And yet you all can go write the New Health Conversation. Now, the only thing we ask is if you go to the website and you like what you see and you sign up for a free consultation, at least have the courtesy, because they're going to reach out to you, they're going to text you or call you or email you, at least get back to them. We've got over 50% of the people that are signing up, and then the coaches, they follow up, they'll call back, maybe 2 or 3 times. We only have so much time, everybody. The coaching's free. It's not like they're trying to sell you something, because they don't have anything to sell. You're buying from the food from the grocery store or these exotic foods from around the world. Does that make sense? Does that seem reasonable to all of you? Can somebody give me a yes if that's reasonable? I can't even talk because I've been going for almost 2 hours now. We're at 12,000 likes. That's really great. That's really, really great. Tyler Mahan. So that seems reasonable, right? If you go there and you like what you see and you want a free consultation, follow through and do the free, because you're only cheating yourself because you can't do it without a coach. Well, why would you want to do it without a coach when it's free? How are you going to order the foods? See, even if we gave you the list of what to do, of what foods to order, you don't know how to do it. And the researchers did this. They put together for all of you, Taylor and everybody else, the Blueprint for Success. These are daily videos from the researchers. They're teaching you, telling you it's safe, showing you what to do each and every day. And then you have a live coach because you're going to have questions on top of that. But the coaches are also there to do what? Inspire you, support you. They're your friends. And then they show you how to keep it off for the rest of your life. That picture's 8 or 9 years old. She's kept the weight off now for 8 or 9 years. And it's the daughter of a friend of mine. I know her. But again, I'd love everybody just to confirm, Miss Kitty Vanis Davis, you're all saying yes. You mean if you go and sign up for a coach, that you at least would follow through and get back to them. Is that true? Or Taylor or Vanessa or any of you? Okay, Miss Kitty, 0. I don't know. I'm going to try and see if I can. No, I can't. I don't know how to accept when people come on. You can try it again, Miss Kitty. I work 6 days a week for over a year and can't lose weight, even following a diet. Taylor Mahan, yeah, so Miss Kitty, if you want to try again, I'll see if I can let you in. Vanessa Davis, yes. So you did hear the explanation and you can go to that website and get a coach for free. Is that what you're telling me, Vanessa? Miss Kitty joined again. Mimi Mom joined. So Miss Kitty, it wasn't that I wasn't trying to let you in. I'm not sure. It comes up on my screen and then I just clicked on it and nothing happened. So it's not that I'm avoiding you. So who else would like to ask me a question then? Yes, I heard what you said about the website. Okay, great, Vanessa. So you can see it there, where to go, and you understand if you go there, you get a free coach to answer all your questions and then show you how to get started. And you don't buy anything from the coaches, Vanessa. You're buying either from your grocery store or the list of foods that come from all over the world that they're going to show you. Okay? So who else would like to ask me a question? Because I've now been almost 2 hours and I do need to rest my voice a little bit anyway. Wow, I can't believe it. Time flies when you're having fun. So would anybody else like to ask me a question before we close this? So Miss Kitty, perfect. You mean, I know you wanted to get in. I wasn't trying to. Do you want to try to come on and ask me a question or say something? I'm willing to try it again if you try to come in. But are you saying perfect because you understand what's going on now and you really don't have a question? Because I'm not at all preventing you from coming on and asking me questions if that's what you want to do. But I would need to. Oh, nope, I understand. Okay, great, great. And you understand you can go to that website, Miss Kitty, for sure, for free. We're not going to contact you, and you can get a coach if you what you see, because we will not contact you, Miss Kitty. We don't do that. We don't need to. We rely on the medical proof, if that makes sense. Okay, Taylor, I would invite you to go there. Vanessa, all of you, go to that website. It could change your life. Okay, everybody, I'm going to sign off now. Let's see. So it's now 12. It's 2:25 on the East Coast. It's 12:25 in Denver. Let's say in about an hour. So let's say 3:30 Eastern time. I'll come on and do another podcast. Okay, everybody. Everybody, have a great rest of your day, evening, night, whatever it is. Oh, good, Miss Kitty. I'm glad. I'm glad. But anyway, I wish you all tremendous health, a long life, and hopefully you'll go there for your benefit. That website could change the rest of your life. I don't say that lightly. I've been doing it 23 years. I've helped over 500,000 people. I've spoken in universities and hospitals and towns. They even flew me to China. And one of my greatest honors, I spoke 2 years in a row at Autism One in Chicago, one of the biggest autism conferences in the world. This is so much more than just about weight loss. And you'll learn that if you go to the website and watch the interview with the #1 weight loss nutrition physiologist in the world. It's amazing. Not because of me, because of him, okay? Thank you, everybody. I'm going to sign off now.